presentation is by Sharma from and she is going to be talking on molecular doctrine study that suggests that menstrual disorder caused by PCOS may be treated with Himalayan medicinal plant Xanthoxylum aromatic. Sharma.
Very good afternoon to one and all. My name is Sharma. Currently I am pursuing my PhD under the guidance of Dr. from LSM Global PG College, Uttarakhand. First of all, I would like to convey my sincere gratitude to the organizing committee for providing me this opportunity to present my work in front of respected chairperson and my senior research colleagues. So today I am going to talking about a molecular docking study suggests that menstrual disorder caused by polycystic ovarian syndrome may be treated with Himalayan medicinal plant Xanthoxylum aromatum, which is commonly known as Timu. This presentation will focus on 4 points, that is some basic introduction, then materials and method, result, and finally discussion. So as the picture shows the birth and developmental stages of women, and we all know that all human beings shows 2 vital signs, that is metabolism and reproduction. In reproductive ages of women, basically this reproductive period of women is a period between the menarche and the menopause, in which menarche we know that there is an onset of menstruation in which one ovum is released from the ovary, and if not fertilized, it passes to the reproductive tract during menstrual cycle. So, what happens during menstrual cycle? Here we can see in this picture that the 2 portions, blue one and the pink one. In the upper side of portion, that is ovarian activity, in which menstrual cycle is categorized into the 3 phases. That is the menstrual phase, which is characterized by the maturation of follicles, and then the ovulatory phase, the phase of ovulation, and then the luteal phase, in which the mature follicle transforms into the gravid follicle, and this phase marked by the end of uterine bleeding, and then the menstruation occurs. The lower portion shows the uterine activity, in which the first one is proliferative phase, in which endometrium rapidly increases under the influence of estrogen. Then the ovulation occurs, and after that the endometrium increases its secretory activity under the influence of progesterone as well as estrogen. Now, in endocrine point of view, if we see, in response to gonadotropin releasing hormone, anterior pituitary secretes 2 types of gonadotropins, that is follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. Follicle stimulating hormone acts on ovary, which stimulates the development of follicles, and these follicles surrounded by 2 types of cells, that is the theca cells and the granulosa cells, which we will discuss in the next slides. After the maturation of follicle development, the final follicle is the gravid follicle, which generates estrogen level and which ultimately signals the pituitary gland to seize that FSH so that it can stop the further maturation of follicles. But on the other hand, it gives signals to pituitary to release luteinizing hormone for more and more release of luteinizing hormone to occur ovulation, and the process continues. But the reason behind showing this pathway is that the whole process is the interplay of hormones, in which estrogen and progesterone are formed, which is an steroid, and these secretion is formed due to a process called steroidogenesis. Steroidogenesis, if we talk about in a normal female, is a 2 gonadotropin hypothesis, in which 2 cell means the theca cell and the granulosa cell, and gonadotropin means that the luteinizing hormone and FSH. So here we can see the theca cell and the granulosa cell. So what happens is that inside the theca cell, with the help of the precursor cholesterol, it forms a pregnenolone with the help of these enzymes, and then into the DHA and progesterone, and finally it forms androgens, shown that androstenedione and testosterone with the help of the enzyme CYP17A1 and HST. Now, with the help of the basement membrane, these androgens then travel to the granulosa cell, and under the influence of follicle stimulating hormone, these androgens transforms into the estrogen. But in women of polycystic ovarian syndrome, the coordination of hypothalamus, pituitary and ovary axis does not active properly, which affect the gonadotropin release and which increase activity of luteinizing hormone, which ultimately stimulates the theca cell to produce more and more number of androgen. Excess amount of androgen may causes the follicles may hindrance in the normal follicular growth, ovulation and maturation, and then the ovary becomes compromised with many small antral follicles which never become dominant, and it becomes a battery of symptoms like hirsutism, acne, alopecia and irregular menstrual cycles, infertility, miscarriages and various obstetrical complications. Here we can see the normal ovary and the ovary which is arrested antral follicles of polycystic ovarian syndrome. Now coming to this slide, here showing the hyperandrogenemia, how these cells, how these hyperandrogenemia affected by the oversecretion of steroidogenesis pathway. Here the three receptors being used as a target to the first one is CYP1729, 5-alpha reductase and human androgen receptor with a drug that is used like metformin and spironolactone and cyproterine reductase. But these drugs that are currently used to treat PCOD shows many side effects like vomiting, fatigue, irregular menstrual cycle. So a new drug molecule, a natural ligand to be searched for the treatment which have a potential effect without side effects. So the aim, according to the factors and to look this consideration, the aim of a study is to virtually screen the phytochemicals present in xanthocyarum aromatum, which may potentially inhibit the steroidogenesis pathway. So the main focus of our study was to inhibit these receptors with the help of natural ligands of xanthocyarum aromatum and to compare it with the reference drug like metformin, spironolactone and cyproterone acetate. For this, the objectives of our study is to search the phytochemicals present in the Himalayan medicinal plant xanthocyarum and to perform in silico screen of these phytochemicals and to compare the binding energy of phytochemicals with the standard drug. To fulfill the objectives of this study, first of all, the three-dimensional 3D structure of these receptors were retrieved from the protein data bank PDB. PDB is the largest protein bank from where we can download these structures and we can retrieve the PDB ID. Then the ligand preparation, the structure of reference drug and the phytochemical compound of xanthocyarum aromatum were retrieved from the PubChem databases. After the retrieval of these ligands and the receptor, molecular docking was performed by the help of software that is PyTex. So, based on the highest binding affinity, we have found the 18 phytochemicals compound of xanthocyarum as the table shows, in which the table shows the binding score, docking score of these phytochemicals, in which we can see it here. The first one is hesperidine showing minus 10.1 kilocalorie with CYP17 and minus 12 kilocalorie with 5-alpha reductase receptor. Similarly, if we see here with lupure, it is minus 10.2 and 11.2 with 5-alpha reductase. Not 1 and 2, but all the 18 phytochemicals showing highest docking score. More negative the docking score is, it represents the more strong affinity. So if we compare it with the current drug that are currently using for the treatment of PCOD, that is metformin, it shows only minus 5.1 kilocalorie with CYP17 and minus 5.1 for 5-alpha reductase. And if we see here spironolactone, it is minus 8.6, and for cyproterone acetate it is minus 9.6. So if we conclude that there are the two pathways where we can say that the phytochemicals that we have used with xanthosylum armatum is effectively used to treat the PCOS without any side effects. And this is the summary of our result, in which 58 publicly available structures of phytochemicals of xanthosylum armatum screen. 18 compounds shows highest binding efficacy. So at last, would like to conclude by saying that we have taken FDA approved drugs that I have already told, that metformin, but it shows the side effects, that is infertility and many more. And we have used that natural iron phytochemical which is effectively working in this PCOS, and also we have used the in silico screen, which is very time consuming and a good result. Thank you.
Like although like metformin it binds very lightly to these protein, it has side effects. But your compound like aspartame and other compound, they bind very strongly. They may have more side effects. What is your opinion?
Actually, the ligand that I am talking about, aspartame, is a natural ligand that extracted from a medicinal plant, that is timon, which have no side effect. If we see the toxicity of the timon, it shows that there is no side effects against that PCOD in comparison to if we talk about the metformin or spironolactone and cyproterone acetate. That is why I am talking about that. We have shown the result which is effectively work in comparison to the synthetic drugs that are currently used for PCOS.
Thank you.
What is the rationale you have selected xanthosylum armatum? Why you have selected that particular plant?
Actually, I am working in Uttarakhand, which is very widely, which is a place where these medicinal plants are widely used and easily available plants that people use as a natural home remedy for the people that are living in interior places. They always use this kind of medicinal plant for the treatment of their menstruation, menstrual cramp. So that I think about that, and it is very widely used for the stomach ache and menstrual cramps.
Thank you.
Thank you.